Well, hello, everybody. I am very sorry if anybody's been waiting. I am running just really late today. I hope everybody has had a good day. It's been very busy for me overall, just in regular life, and then in true crime updates, and then in regular news updates, and I'm just a little bit overwhelmed today. Hey, shut up, Meg. What's going on? How are you? How is everything? So I have um, updates today in Samuel Olson's case. I don't know whoever is here and who's been following. Hey, Don, how are you? Um, Whoever's been following me, following this case. I started following Samuel's case maybe 18 or so hours before he was found. So this one's really sensitive for me. I'm actually currently shaking. I'm a little bit nervous because a lot of things happened overnight. I know. Third, it's so I'm gonna play this just so we can get settled, so I could say hi to everybody, get everything situated. And this video, I found it on uh, this reporter's webpage. I normally would I want to shout out people who I get, but I don't want to get copywritten struck because this isn't a news article. This is her Facebook video. So yeah, I'm just if you guys know her name, you know her name. But if you don't, message me and I'll send it to you. I just don't want to get in trouble for it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play this.
Hey guys, we are going live here in Cyprus, outside of Holbrook Elementary School, where...
That wasn't it. Crap. Just kidding. We've seen this one. Give me one moment and I will find it. How John Michelle, you've been sick? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll catch up for you. I got you. Oh, Dawn Keller, that Britney video, if you haven't seen it, it's so sad. So I went, hey Matt Bond, how are you? Hey Delaney. So I uploaded the Britney Spears interview, not the interview, the audio from her court for her conservatorship. It is so beyond sad. I mean, they have been torturing this woman behind closed doors, basically gagging her from speaking about anything that's going on, taking all of her rights. It's really, really sad right now. And to be completely honest with you, I definitely didn't expect that from her. And then now that I hear it, I'm like, holy crap, we've kind of been enslaving her too, right? I mean, that's kind of how I feel. Perform. And I guess she was saying in there that that she doesn't get days off, that she has to perform when she's sick. And then somebody busted out a video of her on stage at a concert, and she was saying something to the effect of, "Oh, I'm getting so dizzy, I was about to pass out. I'm warning you guys, I have 102 fever right now." And it's like, what? Hey, how are you? Melissa and Cece and Mama Bear and more with Mandy. Matt Bond, what's going on? John, as always. Hey, Carly Armstrong. And Tina Towler, Lulu Interrupted. And of course, shut up, Meg. Let's see. I'll have to finish watching that stream. It's really good. It was a really good stream, and now I am rambling on. So I'm going to pull up. I pulled down that video so I could go to her Facebook, and possibly find the actual video that I was going to play because this ain't it.
Court records indicate
this isn't it. Don't you hate when you thought you had something saved and then you're like, wait a minute, where is it? I thought I had it saved. I'm actually not very good with Facebook videos, and that's where I had gotten it, and I thought I had saved it. Might have to go on to the next one. Let's see, saved videos. No, I didn't save it. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I save it? Okay, so I guess I didn't save it. Ugh, how frustrating. No, that was this morning when I wasn't rushing. I was I was reading articles like always, and then I don't know. I don't know what happened. I could have sworn. You know what? Sometimes what I do is I'm like, if I'm too busy, I'll send the link to somebody. And then I'll tell myself, I'll just go to that link later. And then I forget later on because I do a few things. Yeah, it'll come back to me at some point when I get it together for sure. Yeah, that's how it's always been. Let's see. That's how it's always been. I was doing near monitors for her for the Crossroads Press event in Sydney. They wouldn't let her grab me a bottle of water while I fixed her belt pack. Makes a lot of sense, Matt. You're very lucky to have met her. And I'm sorry that you had to watch that because I'm sure you could feel it in person. Hey, Judy Cummings, how are you? And Lydia Leal. I am trying to get everything put together, but I'm kind of behind right now, but we'll just chit chat while I get it. So, Sweet Pea, I am having to alter my route because this video that I was loving and wanting to play is not coming up. So, that's okay because we have more, right? We got more. Anybody got anything interesting other than the true crime news that we've gotten today? Any updates? I know these little babies have been stealing my heart, but not just that. It's not time consuming. It's almost overwhelming. Like I can't get it out fast enough. And I've been doing this Samuel stuff since the morning, and I found out that Crazy Crime Chick wasn't going to go live after all because she was waiting for some Summer Wells updates. And after she didn't go live, I fell asleep and I woke up and I was panicking again. But this other news came out, so I thought, hey, you know what? I'm just going to go with the flow. Hey, Dave, how are you? I'm just going to go with the flow today, and I'm going to do the live later, and I'll throw it all together. And of course, I can't find that one video, so that's not working out. But we're going to go ahead and add the second one, which is obviously of relevance, and we'll start explaining what's going on with what's going on in the Samuel Olson case. So as you guys know, that's Brandon Walker. Hi, Brandon Walker. I'm so sorry. I just doxed you. So as most of you know, Samuel was essentially, we think he was killed by Teresa Balboa because that's who he was with when he essentially disappeared, was never seen again. But she was living with Benjamin Rivera, who was her roommate / ex-boyfriend, current boyfriend, because she was engaged to Samuel, but living with her ex, who was also her current boyfriend, I'm guessing, because they lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. And, let's just all be adults here. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. Yep. So what this is going to explain is Benjamin Rivera yesterday was arrested. He turned himself in, and then he was granted a bond, and then from there we'll just go on because I haven't updated you guys with that.
Now to new developments tonight in the Samuel Olson case. A second person has now been arrested in connection with the 5-year-old boy's death. Samuel's body was found on June 1st out in Jasper after authorities received an anonymous tip through Crime Stoppers. And now 27-year-old Ben Rivera is facing charges in connection with this case. Our Brandon Walker is live tonight at the Harris County Criminal Justice Center, where Rivera just faced a judge. So Brandon, what have you learned about Rivera's arrest?
Well, Chris, he faces the same charge as Teresa Balboa in all of this. From information testimony he gave HPD investigators. And that's a key point here, according to our legal analyst, because this is a case against Balboa, but investigators will need what Rivera has to say and what he knows about all of this.
Thanks, Dave.
Benjamin Rivera Wednesday in magistrate court charged with tampering with evidence, human corpse, a body believed to be 5-year-old Samuel Olson.
Almost there.
The boy, last seen by teachers April 30th, at some point made it to Rivera's apartment in Webster, the one he shared with Teresa Balboa. The one investigators searched one night before a body believed to be Samuel's was found with Balboa at a motel in Jasper. Court documents in the case against Rivera pretty much echo testimony Rivera gave Houston police in their initial investigation into Balboa. One detail, however, potentially places Rivera's knowledge of Samuel's body in the apartment 5 days prior than initially reported. Quote, on May 5th, Rivera received a text message from Teresa Balboa stating, quote, I need to talk to you before you come inside.
This is not a whodunit. This is not a case that appears to be defensible.
KPRC2 legal analyst Brian Weiss says that's because of what Rivera already has said, telling investigators he tampered with Samuel's body. Weiss says that makes Rivera a key witness in the state's case against Teresa Balboa.
Certainly, Mr. Rivera is in a position to give the state of Texas Ms. Balboa on a platter.
So, if you're Rivera's defense, what's the strategy?
This is a case where you, as a reasonably competent criminal defense attorney, make the best possible deal you can for your client, because anybody who's watched Law and Order knows the first one to the courthouse gets the best deal.
Yeah, that's because Rivera told investigators that he helped Balboa move the body in the apartment, purchased the tote and the tape used to store it, also drove Balboa to that storage unit seen on surveillance video carrying what is believed to be the body in that storage unit. That is the implication. Meantime, calls to his attorney not returned today. Another attorney did not want to offer comment. A judge setting bond today at $100,000, considering Mr. Rivera a flight risk. Live downtown, I'm Brandon Walker, KPRC2 News.
This guy is awesome. I really, really, really enjoy him. He has done some rogue reporting on this case, and I have them up on my page. They are very good. He is amazing. I know, guys. So I'm going to go into a little bit before I play the next interview. Before I play the next video, which is going to be the update from today about Benjamin, and then we're going to do the update about Dylan. But in between, I'll be going over what I think, in my opinion, is going on, or what went on. So, can you not hear me? Oh, that video ended. I was just going to explain what we heard in that video. Sorry, Ashanemi, how are you? Hey, Jimmy Rhino. So, what we heard right now was that Benjamin was arrested. He was given a $100,000 bond, and also he was, hey, Amanda, he was, Benjamin wasn't arrested, but he was charged. I'm sorry, he wasn't arrested because he turned himself in, but he was charged with abuse of a human corpse, much like Teresa. There has not been a charge of murder yet, so we don't know necessarily what's going to happen, but before I play the next video, I will spoil it. Thanks, Mickey, my mod. Hey, Jill Sharp. So I'm going to spoil it. Spoiler alert. This morning when I woke up, Benjamin was released. He's freaking out of jail. So, yeah, that's that. He bailed out. His bail was essentially $10,000 because his bail was $100,000. 10% of $100,000 is $10,000. So Benjamin Rivera is on house arrest, and all that entails. He can't be around minors, and he can't contact the victim's family. But no, not Dylan, the dad. The dad's name is not Dylan. Don't confuse me. His name is Dalton. Don't scare me like that. Oh no, that happens to me all the time. I've done that before, Ash, and don't worry. Yes, he bailed out Joe Sharp. I can't believe it. It makes me furious. Like, what makes you think that this guy who just helped his ex-girlfriend / girlfriend hurt a baby and then transport the body to hide it and then make plans to hide it somewhere else? What makes you think he's an okay person? Like, oh, he might not be flight risk. He's gonna wear an ankle bracelet. That's gonna keep him in the country. So, the interesting part about that was that, because we all know that Teresa was in the apartment with Benjamin, and Benjamin obviously was going to have seen the little boy's body. We do know that she called him at work and was like, hey, come home, something happened. And he gets home. Before he gets home, she sends him a text message that says, I need to talk to you before you come inside. So obviously, this is his proof to the cops that, he didn't do it to Samuel. And when I say he didn't do it, what I'm going to say next is really going to be shocking. So if you are sensitive, or if there are children around, scoot. So Benjamin essentially calls her lets her know that he's there. I'm sure she goes outside and talks to him. Then they go into the apartment. He sees Samuel bruised and what we thought was dead, but he was unconscious. So, and I had read this before, and then they kind of muddied the words, and I had mentioned it to Crazy. I said, I think this means he was alive when Benjamin got home. So he found him unconscious on the bed, covered in bruises, and they knew he was alive. They put him in the bathtub from there, and this was May 5th. Samuel died on May 10th. So on May 10th, Teresa Balboa sent him another text message while he was at work telling him that she was going to have to move Samuel, who I'm guessing has either passed away on the 10th or is about to pass away. But she has to call him to tell him that she has to move the body because maintenance is going to come. They put him in the bathtub, Valerie, and they left him there. So remember when the neighbor said that she could hear something scraping in the bathtub? I thought it was probably ice, like maybe they were keeping him cold so they could like store him until they got rid of his body, because that's what they were going to do, because they have tampered with his body. Maybe it was ice, but maybe it was just Samuel. And that's one of the worst parts about it. Like when you have to close your eyes and like visualize it, sometimes it gets a little bit too real. And this case, it's definitely not one of the worst I've seen. It's really bad because it's in current time and it's affecting me because I'm following it in real time and reporting on it, I guess. But when you think that it got bad already and then it gets worse, like I have to do another live for Liam Husted because I have to dedicate a whole live to him, because what has happened to him too is so much worse than what we imagined initially. Again, same with Samuel. Samuel literally suffered. And this is in my opinion, this is what I'm getting from the artifacts that they're leaving us in these documents. But I'm pretty sure I'm right. So with that being said, he then comes home and they move Samuel to the bed so maintenance can come to the apartment. I don't know if you saw that interview with the neighbor. She said that they were moving in those days on the 10th and the 11th. So maintenance was probably having to work between the apartments. I think she maybe even had mentioned something like that. I'm not sure. The hotel room, I'm sure was only rented overnight because she was caught almost within a few 12 hours, I think. So anyway, they move his body to the bed, and what I'm guessing, he's passed away now or he's about to pass away, so maintenance can come. On the 13th is when Benjamin, with receipts, buys the tote, plastic wrap, and duct tape. They then proceed to, wrap Samuel up and, do everything else that we know that they did. But the one thing that I thought was really bad is that Benjamin literally knew that this little boy was dying in the bathroom attached to his bedroom and could live with it and could live with himself all this time. And now, because he's going to throw Teresa under the bus, the literal bus, he might get away with it. At least I feel he's turned state witness. They are literally saying like he flipped, he turned state witness, and they're, he might fly. He might smell. He might pass the smell test. He is out on bail already. This guy slept with this little boy in the bed. This guy slept with the little boy in the bathroom while he was in the bed. If he had to use the restroom while he was there, he had to use the restroom next to Samuel in the tub. The part that gets me most disgusted is that Teresa's mom and she were in the bed sleeping, according to Benjamin, on May 27th, the day that they reported him missing. When he came home from work, Teresa and her mom were asleep in the bed together. the same bed. She clearly had there's nothing, I don't think anything, I don't, any, I don't think yeah. I'm at a loss of words. I don't even know what runs through this woman's mind. I don't think that she's a logical person, obviously, and that's just being nice. But I think that she's malicious, bitch, and I think that she did this on purpose. And I will say that in my opinion, I don't see her having done anything on accident. And if you listen to Samuel's mom's press conference, she says with the saddest voice, he was a very obedient child. This woman, lightly, is just a brat, doesn't know how to handle life, and she beat on a little boy because she couldn't handle him. And was that his fault? No. Was it her fault? Yes, and not necessarily, because she shouldn't have been put into that position, but she was, and she should have been able to maintain herself or not do it at all. If you can't do it, be a big enough person to say, "Hey, I can't do it. I just can't. I can't do it. I give back this responsibility." He is the second arrested, Marge Ben. Today, the third was arrested. I'm going in layers today. There's so much happened in the past 2 days. So when the neighbor said she heard tapping and scratching on the wall, Miss KJ, she probably heard him. How did they shower for 5 days? Well, they probably didn't. Yeah. I can't believe it. I really I kind of knew. I had told a few people. If I had told you, "Hey Monica, if you've been watching me or talking to me along this journey of mine, I have already said this, that I thought he was alive still when Benjamin had come home." So Tony Carson, really quick, just an update. Samuel Olson, who was killed by, we are guessing, Teresa Balboa, and her roommate. Her roommate has turned state witness, and he was released on bond today, but only after we learned more details in the case, learning that Teresa called him to let him know that Samuel had been hurt, and when he got home, he helped her put him in the bathtub on May 5th, and Samuel didn't die until May 10th. So what happened in those 5 days between the time that she called him home urgently and the time that they took him from the bathtub and put him into a tote? Or no, they didn't put him into a tote right away. I don't know what they did with him. They just left him there longer. He was in there for 8 days, essentially. Longer than a week. He was in probably the bathroom for 8 days. Because I bet they didn't give him, he didn't deserve any more, obviously. They put him into a black tote and they were going to dispose of him. Another thing is that Benjamin was in the hotel room with Teresa when they arrested her. That's what one news report said. I'm going to go ahead and take that as truth, as another creator had gone ahead and called the hotel, and somebody at the hotel had told her that there were 2 men. But I assumed that it may have just been an officer, because officers did get there really fast, and they spoke with the guy who called Crime Stoppers at the hotel. So I assumed that they just meant it was probably an officer talking to that guy, and I kind of just didn't want to say it because I didn't know for a fact. But now I'm guessing that it's probably fact, since they're saying they found yesterday, before they mentioned arresting Dylan. Yesterday they were saying that when Benjamin was apprehended, they apprehended him at the hotel with Teresa. And I don't know if anybody else was there the night that they caught her. Dawn probably knows. Both Dawns probably know. They had said that there was 2 people in custody, and we were looking like crazy trying to find the second person, thinking it was Dalton, the dad, and we looked and looked and looked, and we couldn't. So we couldn't find anything. And I guess we just thought, oh, well, it was just a false alarm by the news that said that at least Teresa's in jail, right? Wrong. It was him. So who is the third suspect? So the third suspect is going to be the guy that helped her take Samuel's body in the tote from the store. He picked her up at Walmart, took her to the storage unit, and then from the storage unit drove her to a remote hotel in Jasper. Exactly, Tony Carson. You wonder why he didn't call the cops at all for 8 days. And then some days, and then some days, and then some days. This guy just sat on his hands for weeks. No, I think he had a lot more to do with it than what he is claiming, and he is going to throw her under the literal bus and get away with it. And he's going to be out there walking around making all kinds of more bad judgments. I hate him just as much as I hate her. I really do. And I really have been saying this at the beginning, like, where's Benjamin? Like, what did you do, Benjamin? Where have you been? Now that they got him, I was so excited. I was really excited yesterday. And today, when I found out he was released, and released with the ankle monitor, like, what? How is that going to keep this evil guy from going out and doing more bad? He clearly does not have a good head on his shoulders. I don't care if it was his first offense, it was bad enough. He is a negligent person. What is going on in this state? It's the new Florida. I am beyond frustrated. And not just this case, obviously. Cash Gernon is in Texas, and I am literally, as I'm talking, guys, I'm literally like hitting my face with my fingers, like not beating myself or anything. Just like I'm not rubbing my face with my hands. I'm like tapping it lightly because I'm so frustrated. I don't understand why he was released. It makes no freaking sense. So I'm obviously pulling up more, but I started talking and I lost my place. Sorry. So obviously he was arrested, and he was arrested and then he was released this morning. I have all those papers as well. I just have to make sure I actually pull them up because apparently I've lost my mind today and I'm not as organized as I usually try to be. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read this to you guys. Benjamin Rivera, the roommate of Teresa Balboa, was freed on $100,000 bail Thursday. A prosecutor said the weapon used to kill Samuel Olson may have been found. A prosecutor said Thursday the weapon used to kill 5-year-old Samuel Olson may have been found as the second person charged in the connection with his death was released on $100,000 bail. It's like he gave away the murder weapon to get a bail. That's what it feels like, right? I can almost see it happening in this room with this big old light above the table. Benjamin Rivera, 27, is confined to house arrest and must wear a GPS monitoring device. A Harris County judge ruled in Houston. Rivera is the roommate of Teresa Balboa, the girlfriend of Samuel's father. The roommates are the only people charged in the ongoing murder investigation into Samuel's death. And this is just from this morning, so that's why I'm like, so much stuff happened. Both face counts of evidence tampering regarding a human corpse. Balboa remains at the Harris County Jail in Texas, where she is being held in lieu of $600,000 bond. So $100,000 of that bond is from her case that Samuel Olson's father had against her, and it was an initial $5,000 bond, and they raised it to $100,000 after they arrested her. So, and then the other $500,000 is for the tampering with a human corpse. Now, mind you, Benjamin got the same charge and got a $100,000 bond. Why? Because it's going to make it easier to get state's case. You found her in a hotel room with a dead baby. It's going to be an easy case. It's slam dunk. I mean, it's not a Shaq free throw. This is Kobe. Why? Like, literally, why? Sorry. Both face counts of evidence tampering regarding a human corpse. Okay. Chief Prosecutor Andrea Bale says that after the bond hearing that police are conducting tests on what may be the weapon used to kill Samuel. She did not provide further details about where it was found or what it is. A June autopsy ruled the boy's death was a homicide caused by a blunt force head trauma. Besides home confinement, Rivera was also ordered to have no contact or communication with anyone under the age of 17 and to have no contact with Balboa or Samuel's father, Dalton Olson. According to the charging document filed by the Harris County District Attorney's Office, Rivera allegedly told homicide investigators he helped Balboa hide Samuel's body in a plastic bin and transport it to a storage facility weeks before the boy was reported missing by his father on May 27th. Samuel's body was discovered June 1st by a sheriff's deputy in Jasper County, Texas, some 130 miles from his Houston home. Authorities responding to a Crime Stoppers tip found Balboa, 29, in a Best Western motel room with a box containing Samuel's corpse, according to prosecutors. The black and yellow container had been secured with zip ties. A deputy pried open the lid and saw a child's remains wrapped in plastic and bound with duct tape. Court documents said, and a strong foul odor consistent with the decomposing remains emanated from the bin. During questioning by homicide investigators, Rivera allegedly told them he had been called at work on May 10th by Balboa, who said Samuel was unresponsive and he needed to come home. So this was a lie. This is just what he told them. After returning to their apartment, Rivera said he saw Samuel's bruised body lying on a bed and he helped Balboa place his child in a bathtub. Rivera told police he went to Walmart on May 13th and bought duct tape and a plastic tote, and that he and Balboa placed Samuel's body inside and then drove to a storage locker where the container remained until May 31st. Prosecutors also said detectives obtained text messages from Rivera's cell phone showing he and Balboa discussed moving the child's body. I'm going to click over to StreamYard real quick because I have not been checking comments, and for all I know, I could be getting bombarded. Let's see. Great plan, man. I guess whoever gets the deal. Yeah. He's going to get a slap on the wrist. He should not be able to breathe. Please slam on the like button. Oh, no. He is not smart, and neither are they. What did I do? What weapon? I thought she lost her temper and beat the baby Samuel to death. What the hell did she do to this poor baby? Or what did they do to this poor baby? Because if he had to hide the fact that he was with him for 5 days until he died, why? Why would he have to hide that? Does he feel a little bit guilty? I hope he has a telltale heart. I really hope he does. What is wrong with Texas is exactly it. Don't cry for me. Don't cry. When I think about it, I can't, because my first instinct as a person is to protect the babies. If the baby cries, you run to the baby. If anything happens to the baby, you take care of them. So moving on, we're going to finish reading this, and then we will jump over to the next douchebag. And I actually have some more news that's really big, again, regarding Samuel, and then I'll tell that at the end, just because it's kind of something that I would like to have a discussion on as I finish this. So I'm going to go ahead and finish reading it. All right. Dalton Olson reported his son missing 2 days before the child's 6th birthday. So he was 5. He and Balboa told investigators that Balboa had been confronted that morning by Samuel's mother, Sarah Olson, and a uniformed officer who demanded custody of the child, authorities said. We kind of know the story, so I'm not going to go ahead and read that. Dalton Olson, through his attorney, has denied any involvement in Samuel's death, which was deemed a violent homicide caused by blunt head trauma. Okay, yeah. I'm glad I skipped it. Okay. Let me then pull up the third one. So, do you guys still think Dalton is involved? Do you think he'd be hanging out with this guy who is his girlfriend's boyfriend? I've said it before. What does a girl have? 3 tits? The other guy just helped her out too. This is just so dumb. I'm really sorry. Kind of out of character today, but I really needed to get this done, and I couldn't get it done fast enough. It was kind of making me anxious. So I am going to... What was I going to do again? Oh yeah, I was going to pull it up. Hold on a second. I'm going to click this one off. So talk amongst yourselves for a moment, children. Monsters. Absolute monsters. Mm-hmm. Samuel's mom, Sarah Olson, is that what you said? I thought Teresa was his mom. If I said that, it was incorrect. Sarah Olson is his mom. If you heard it when I was reading it in the article, they were mentioning that Teresa had said that Sarah Olson had kidnapped the baby. Sometimes I make mistakes with names when I'm talking, and then when I listen to my live back, I'm like, I just said Samuel Olson had a restraining order against Teresa, but that was his dad. I hope they understand. So I'm going to, do that. I already told you guys. Yeah, Sarah is the mom. She must have some magical skills other than killing babies. And I can't forgive her for that, and I can't forgive Benjamin. You're not my friend, Benjamin. I cannot forgive you. We're not cool peoples. Can you believe that? Can you believe he's out already? Like, what would you, if he was your son, what would you ask him? What would you ask him? Hi, son. How was prison? Was it nice? Why were you there? Were you really in a hotel room? Oh, you were? Why? You were in the. Oh, you were at your apartment too? Wow. 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 Yeah. I can't. I can't with them right now. This is getting so stupid, especially with the state. Just so stupid. I can't even stand it right now. I will be out of pocket today. I might even curse more. Just kidding. So I think I may have. Oh, yes, here it is. So here's the next article. You guys now usually have these kind of pulled up, so this is unlike me. So I apologize in advance. Please don't be mad at me. All right, let's see what you guys are saying real quick. Yeah. Yeah, I'd ask him to never talk to me again, too. I don't think he's involved, but I think he should be charged for something for giving his baby to a woman that's not supposed to be around children. Not even her own children. Her baby's daddy, I have a video of him saying it that I just uploaded yesterday. Her baby's daddy's mom, so her ex-mother-in-law, said that she was never motherly, and then he kind of basically said the same. He mirrored exactly what the mom had said, that she wasn't motherly. She didn't have a motherly bone in her body. Thank you, Monica. I appreciate you. Ich lieb dich, Mutti. Thanks, Vicky. All right, so, this is my first video of this case. Why was Samuel with Teresa? Guys, in the comments, let her know. So I'm going to bust this one out. So, man charged with tampering with evidence in the Samuel Olson case bonds out, because in this country, you're better off being rich and guilty than poor and innocent. Just write that down. Houston, a man charged in connection to the death of 5-year-old Samuel Olson has made bond. Remember that it is because of this guy and his girlfriend that Samuel never turned 6. Because he could have called the hospital. We don't know what could have happened. Sorry. Benjamin Rivera turned himself in a day ago on the charge of tampering with evidence. His bond was set at $100,000. Rivera is the second person to be charged in connection to the death of Samuel Olson, who was reported missing on May 27th and then found dead in a Jasper motel room a few days later. Teresa Balboa, Rivera's roommate and Olson's father's girlfriend, was also charged with tampering with evidence shortly after the boy's body was found. According to the Harris County Institute of Forensic Sciences, Olson's cause of death was homicidal violence with blunt head trauma. Police have not revealed the circumstances leading up to the boy's death. The district attorney's office did confirm that tests are being conducted on a possible weapon. Basically said what I said. Great, thanks guys. Now you made me look bad. So I actually found that video that I was trying to play earlier, and I think it was the one that I actually pulled up. So let me see if it was. Isn't that funny that I pulled up the actual right video and I was complaining about it the whole time? But I also told you guys that I'm not very good at Facebook videos, so don't judge me. I'm going to look for it again just to make sure that I find it. But yes, he is out on bail because he had $10,000, or somebody did, and he has the right to go see a bail bondsman once a week, and he has to turn in his passport and do all those things, but he has to turn in his passport. But you don't need a passport to leave the country. You only need it to come back. And why would he be coming back here if he's guilty? Because obviously they're letting him out right now on his word that what he's saying to them is true. If and when they figure out that he was lying, which they've already found in his confession that he was lying, because the article that I read right now says that he told them on May 10th, she told him to come home, which wouldn't necessarily be a lie because she did tell him to come home on the 10th. But she told him to come home on the 10th to help her move the body of Samuel because maintenance was going to come, because he told her maintenance was going to come, and they needed to move his body because he was possibly still alive or just newly passed, and they had to put him into the bed. I don't know why she couldn't do it on her own. She could do everything else. But call the cops, call his dad, and help this baby out. This woman is incapable of caring for anything other than herself. And I'm not normally one person to judge people on their looks. I don't think she's ugly or anything, but it makes me upset when I see her coming out of the courtroom and she has like her little, it's not a balayage, but her little ombre hair, her little ombre bleached hair with the little purple tips. I'm like, I bet she touched that up or put in some purple shampoo in those days that little boy was missing, because her color's awfully nice. I bet she was doing some self-care while that little boy was passed away and she was supposed to be taking care of him. Do we know if drugs were involved? Not in the moment. Everybody has speculated that they are on drugs because of their past. Dalton has had a drug history. Teresa has had an extensive drug history. And I'm guessing that because they can't have any concept of, because they not, I don't know, like concept of real life or how things work, that they had to be impaired somehow other than just being dum-dums. So I'm going to go ahead and read a few of these before I pop this on. And I'm going to pop this on so I can find, so I can be ready for the next one. So this was the right video, guys. I had done it, but she started it off the way she started off another one that I have. So I was like, yeah, I thought it was the wrong one. So yeah, for shame. Yeah, don't be shy. Hit the like button. Hey, Jessica, I believe the guy who took Teresa to the motel had sex with her. Yes, he was there for an hour and a half. They were going at 3:35 and he exited. Yep, exactly. And they didn't take the bin in there right away. Why? Because the bin stunk. Because it stunk. That's why he didn't put the bin in there right away, because he was going to hang out with her in there, and they didn't want the baby in there. Because again, Samuel was just in the way for these people who call themselves adults, humans, who are just lucky enough to have been born. Their parents should have been sterilized. I'm going to have no voice tomorrow. Dylan assisted moving the storage container from the storage to the motel, but then he called an Oh, you guys are catching her up. Good. They are cool. Oh, nice, Mama Bear. My husband makes me multitask too. All right. So I'm going to go play. And this, she's so great too. Love her. No. I hate volume. Volume's always messing with me.
Here in Cyprus, outside of Holbrook Elementary School, where court records indicate that Samuel Olson attended school. So this document, the complaint we finally got from Houston Police, is chock full of information. I wanted to go over it with you, some of it. I mean, Holbrook Elementary is one place that Dalton Olson mentioned to me. He told me that he walks his son to school. He was telling me on Tuesday, I walk my son to school every day. I love my kid. And then this court document we got today corroborates that school employees say Dalton did walk his son to school. But more than that, the document reveals some really, really disturbing things about this child. According to this criminal complaint filed by Houston Police that we obtained today, it says that Teresa told her roommate that Samuel Olson was dead back on May 10th. She called him and said, "Come home, Samuel's dead." So the roommate comes home to the apartment he shares with Teresa in Webster and sees the child dead on a bed. And then, according to this court document, Teresa and her...
I'm going to pause it real quick because I haven't gone back to look at comments, but if you are in my comments, you're probably like, hey, Amanda, we've watched this before. And I'm only stopping it to tell you guys, yes, I think she just made like a series and then added more to her original one. So we have heard the beginning before, but for those who haven't heard it, and if it doesn't change and turn into another one, well, then I messed up again. And also I'm turning my notifications off because I think you guys saw my last notification come on, and I don't want anybody to get mad at me. All right. Of course, my computer's like, you want to restart? No, don't restart. Coolest computer. No, it's restarting. Not right now. Can you imagine? Yeah, I'd be frantic. Me too, Delaney, as soon as it starts. It's okay, Don Michelle. It's okay. I wasn't in the best mood today. I was excited and overwhelmed and busy, so I like being busy, but at the same time, I wanted to get this done, and I don't like the feeling of that because sometimes I don't like how it decreases my quality of what I'm doing with my family or with my cooking or with my cleaning or whatever. Okay, so I'm going to go back and play it. Don Keller, great. No, please don't restart. Just keep going. I'm not going to restart it. I'm saying, like, I'm going to restart it to, like, play it. Sorry. Sorry.
Her roommate then moved the child's body to a bathtub where the body remained for 2 days. Then, the court document says that Teresa's roommate went to Walmart, bought some supplies, including a plastic container, and brought it home to wrap the child's body in a plastic covering with tape and put it inside the container. Then they brought it to a storage unit in Webster, where that poor little 6-year-old child apparently remained for 2.5 weeks. So then she files. Then she reports him missing. May 27th. Okay, we all know that story, and apparently, according to the court document, it was Dalton, her fiance, who called and filed that police report after she told him. And so then they begin the search. Police begin interviewing everybody. And then we get to May 31st when you see Teresa Balboa on camera. She's interviewed by some of the media. Dalton OLSON is interviewed by some of the media. And they're all out there looking for the little boy, handing out flyers. Well, this court record indicates apparently what this woman did after handing out flyers. When both Dalton and his mom, Tanya, Sam's grandma, told me she suddenly disappeared while handing out flyers. And they were desperate. They didn't know where she went. They were suddenly freaked out. Apparently, according to this court document, the location where Teresa went was she went to her phone to call her friend Dylan in Cold Spring and say, "Hey Dylan, I need help. I was in an altercation. Can you come get me?" So she gets her friend Dylan to pick her up in Webster and also to pick up her plastic container. Now, whether or not Dylan knew what was in that plastic container, I don't know, but the document says that Dylan took Teresa to Jasper with her plastic container in his pickup truck, and surveillance video, according to the court record, shows that Dylan dragged that container into the motel room, kind of got her situated and checked her in himself with his ID, and then took off. So he checked her in, brought that container in there. He said it did reek of a horrible odor. I mean, this is a child, according to this court document, had been dead since May 10th. And now this is June 1st that he's checking her into the hotel.
Damn.
So whatever's in that container smells terrible to him. He checks her in, and then he heads home to Cold Spring.
And he don't call the cops.
But this guy, I'm going to call Dylan a hero, because what he did is he immediately called Crime Stoppers and told them, "I think I know where this missing girl Teresa Balboa is, and I think I know where Sam Olsen is."
Okay.
So this is a lady commenting on the video. Sorry,
It
guys.
was within a matter of hours that police then went and made the arrest, opened that container, and found a child's body. So we're getting all these details newly from the criminal complaint released today from Harris County District Clerk. Horrifying details. Dalton, the dad, is not mentioned much in that document. That he is mentioned as walking his son to school, and the last time he was at school was
Don.
April 30th. Now, Dalton and his mom, Sam's grandma, told me that Sam spent that final weekend in April at his grandma's house in Santa Fe, Dalton's mom's house, and that by June 2nd, or by May 2nd, which was the end of that weekend, the final weekend of April, into May 2nd, that's a weekend he spent at Tanya's. He was not feeling well. Both Tanya and Dalton told me that Sam was not feeling well on May 2nd. So Sam said he lives here in Cypress, where I'm located right now. I'm going to have to go live on TV here. Okay, I have time to talk. Sam was not feeling well. Dalton was supposed to bring him back here to Cypress, where he lives with his grandfather. So Dalton lives with his high-risk grandfather, high risk for COVID.
So sweet, Monica.
If Sam had COVID, that would be really bad for Grandpa. So what he did is he took Sam directly to Webster, to Teresa's apartment,
he said,
to quarantine for 2 weeks to make sure he didn't infect his high-risk grandfather. That is the story Dalton told me on Tuesday. And then apparently, according to this court record, Sam never made it out of quarantine alive. But get this, another thing Dalton told me on Tuesday, because he was talking to me a lot on the phone. He had chosen not to go on camera anymore. He wanted his mom to be the spokesperson for the family to keep the clarity alive. But Dalton told me on Tuesday that he would talk to his son on the phone throughout his son's quarantine in Webster. And he said that he spoke with little Sam most recently on the phone on May 21st. And then he said he also talked on the phone with Teresa on May 22nd, during which he heard his son Sam in the background, because his son is kind of a loudmouth little boy, joking, yelling at the TV. He was hearing his son in the background, he said, on May 22nd, which directly contradicts this new court document, which says that Teresa
breaking the
told
silence.
her roommate Sam's dead on May 10th.
I don't know.
So Sam would have been dead for 11 days on May 21st when Dalton allegedly had that phone call with his son. So I'm just not sure that everything I'm hearing from everyone is true. Obviously, like police said, there's conflicting stories. This is a complicated case.
Super complicated.
But I thought I'd give you guys an information dump on the information I'm getting.
Thank you, girl.
Dalton did admit to me he had not seen his son since May 2nd when he dropped him off in Webster to quarantine. But he said he talked to him most recently May 21st. That's what he told me on the phone on Tuesday. This court document from Houston Police says that the people they interviewed, Teresa's roommate, apparently saw Sam dead on May 10th. We still don't know, how he died. That document doesn't say anything about how he died. That's what we've got so far. What a tragic story.
Wow, Dawn. I just have to leave that up there for a second. Dad lied. Doesn't necessarily make him guilty, except being guilty of being a bad dad and lying instead of helping look for his son. He was hindering the investigation if he was lying. But also, one thing that Dawn, Michelle, and I both know is that Teresa had him wrapped around her finger, and she was she had a lobster grip on this guy, and he believed her to infinity. So he loved her enough to believe her and to put his son in. Thank you, Delana. Delana, mama. Um, did Teresa record Samuel and play that for Dalton? Butterfly Angel, that is a great question, and that is what I have said before. That's something that I believe Casey Anthony did, because after Kaylee Anthony went missing, a few people heard her in the background while they were on the phone with Casey, and I think she did that deliberately so they could hear her. I'm sorry, I think she played a video in the background deliberately so they could hear Kaylee on a video, and they wouldn't be asking her where she was when she was out of town, quote unquote, out of town. That's where that comes from. And that's where my idea for that came from. When I thought that, I was like, oh, yeah, I bet she did that. I definitely think that that's what she was probably doing. She was fooling everybody to the max. Some people are just super uber manipulative. They can't be good at anything else except being sneaky. No, Susie Carter. I love my chat. Let's just say that right now. If you love Susie Carter's comment, don't forget to slam the like button. Mama Bear, if you have a child, it's your duty to protect them, love them, and not trust anybody with them. I mean, I spend an obscene amount of my time when I'm live thinking about my children who are well taken care of while I'm out here. And I'm still thinking about them. And they're in my home where I know it's safe, and they have snacks and they have food. And most of the time when I'm live, they're asleep. It's kind of early right now. They are always so well taken care of. There's always somebody loving on them. And then, when this stuff happens, I'm like, I'm so glad I worry. Instead of being upset at myself for being out here worried, I'm happy that I worried, because it could be worse. I could be a mom like Teresa and have 3 kids and not have custody of any of them and kill my boyfriend's son because I'm a brat and I don't know how to control my emotions, and I hit a baby and I hurt him enough to leave him for dead and essentially let him rot. And I hate to say it like that, but it is the truth. She let that baby rot, and she wrapped him in plastic like if he was something that she broke as like if she was a little kid, like hiding whatever they broke. She clearly has no coping skills as an adult, and somebody should have institutionalized her or something. You know what? I don't know the logistics in that. So Valerie, you could be right. I don't know if he knew that she had kids. I'm guessing he did, because she had him on her Facebook. They were Facebook friends and stuff. They were engaged. So he probably did. But I doubt he ever met them, because the kids hadn't even seen her. Lucy Campbell, I only ever felt comfortable leaving my kids with either my parents or my in-laws. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. I've never left my kids with anybody other than my immediate family. John Michelle, why leave the baby that tried strangling? Yes. Why leave the baby with somebody who tried to strangle him? Yeah, I think I repeat that every single time, because it's like, why would you leave your baby with somebody who tried to strangle you? Why? Explain that to me. Make that make sense. They will fix her for that in prison, Starver House. And you know what? I'm not one to say, yeah, let's go do it. I hope she gets beat up. But I hope she gets beat up. One thing that I reveled in, is revel the correct word? One thing that I gloated about was when I heard the story. We should listen to that one day. I heard the story about Gabriel Fernandez's mom when she went to prison. The girls in her unit, or the women in her unit, conspired to beat her up. But not just that. They had it all planned out, and they had their hot coffees ready, and they waited for her to show up, and they beat the crap out of her, and that the COs just kind of let it happen. And not just that the CO, who is the correctional officer, that the correctional officer is the one who told everybody who she was. That she said, "Ooh, you look pretty good for a child killer." Or like, you look pretty good for somebody that just killed their kid or something like that. And so the CO was the one who gave her away. That's That's why they say, like, in prison, child killers get the worst, because it's nowhere in life is it okay to kill somebody that cannot defend themselves. It's not okay. It's not okay to kill anybody at all, but to kill somebody because you're frustrated, because that's what I'm guessing happened, right? The only thing that you could think of that could have happened was that she got frustrated and she hit him hard enough to where he either got incapacitated, he had big enough bruises, or she just beat him enough, like, for days at a time where he couldn't recover. But most of the time, they give them one big blow, and then when the kids go limp and get sick, they just kind of nurse them, hoping that they're going to get better. But no, the baby's throwing up because they're concussed and they're hurt and they need help. But guess what? She just left him in the bathtub. They both did. And they live there at your own home. It's, I hate to say it because it's Samuel's body, but it's kind of like, they say, like, you don't, the dogs don't shit where they eat. Committing a crime in your home is essentially doing that. I could never go back. I wouldn't commit a crime anyway, but if a crime was committed at my home and I saw any of it go down, trauma or regular, I would never want to go back there. I would never want to go back there. All right, so here's the second half of what's going on with Benjamin. I'm late. Who got arrested? Hey, Teresa. So I'm just getting to the part where Benjamin, the roommate, was arrested yesterday, released this morning, out on bail, $100,000. He turned state's evidence on Teresa. They have a murder weapon, but they're doing testing. And then, so of course he got out. He's on the ankle monitor. He can't leave the country. He has a passport. He got his passport taken away, and he can't be around minors or contact the victim's family. But today also, Dylan, the third guy, the guy who drove her from Walmart to storage unit, from the storage unit to the hotel, paid for the hotel room, and then called Crime Stoppers on her, he has been arrested. So that's what I'm going to read right now. Are they looking at the father too? I'm unsure. From what I know, they're not. But we did know that there was going to be other people being arrested, and I really thought it would have been Dalton before Dylan. Well, for now, because we can't, Cece, we can only pray for them. They really are. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read it. Did he know it was oh, yes. Oh, yes. So, Teresa, now we know that Benjamin was lying about the day that about what he told police, and he had told police that on May 10th, Teresa had called him and told him to come to the apartment and to call her and to tell her that he was going to be out, to tell her that he was outside before he came in so she could go talk to him. This is when we thought Samuel had died, and it kind of is. But what he didn't say was that 5 days before is that she had done the same thing. She called him, he went home, and he found Samuel unconscious, and they put him in the bathtub. And Samuel didn't die until the 10th. So on the 5th, Cinco de Mayo, they put him in the bathtub. And then he died on the 10th. And then on the 13th, they went and bought the totes. But if you remember that the neighbor who had just moved in said she had heard scraping in the apartment and that it was scaring her in the tub. I thought it might have been ice, like maybe the sound of ice swishing around like on the fiberglass. Yeah. So we're gonna get there right now, Nisi. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I don't understand how he got released on bond either, but I don't understand, but I do understand. He was the first one to turn state's evidence. He wants to throw her under the little bus. They are acting like they had nothing on her and they need somebody to confess about it. They found her in a hotel room with him. Oh, by the way, Teresa, it's almost 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure yet. Benjamin was in the hotel room at the time of the arrest. Remember, initially, we thought there was 2 people who had been arrested, and we were looking all over to make sure it wasn't Dalton, or to make sure it was Dalton for some people. I think it was Benjamin, and then he just wasn't arrested because he probably gave her up then and there. So they've been working with him, in my opinion, since the very beginning, if he was there. So I'm going to jump over to the other one. All right. Man arrested on charge of driving Samuel Olson's body to Jasper Motel with Balboa. A Cold Spring man has been arrested and is currently being held in the Jasper County Jail in connection with his alleged role in the transport of a dead child's body that was recently found in a Jasper motel room. The arrest of Dylan Ray Walker, 27, came following an indictment which was handed down on Thursday morning by a Jasper County grand jury after hearing evidence in the case submitted by District Attorney Ann Pickle and her staff. Thank you, Ann Pickle. You didn't have to pick up that charge, but you did. Good girl. Woman. The indictment charges Walker with tamper / fabricate physical evidence with intent to impair. What did he do? Specifically, Walker is accused of helping Teresa Balboa of Houston to transport the body of 5-year-old Samuel Olson. Bond on Walker was set at $125,000 by District Judge Delinda Gibbs Walker. So his bail is higher than Benjamin's. Make that make sense. Make that make sense to me. How is his bail $25,000 more than the man who lived in the apartment in the bedroom that connected to the bathroom where the little boy was for 8 days? We don't know how many of those days exactly he was alive or passed away, but he was in the apartment for 8 days. Incapacitated of some sorts. And his bail is less than the guy who essentially didn't help out till the end. I mean, I guess we're going to keep reading. Maybe he helped out. I don't know. This is getting twisted. Sorry, guys. It now appears that shortly after the indictment, he was handed the document. It now appears that shortly after the indictment was handed down, the document was handed over to Texas Rangers, who were already in San Jacinto County, and within a short time, they had taken Walker into custody and immediately transported him to the Jasper County Jail. Oh, shoot. So he's already in Jasper County Jail. Oh, never mind. I thought it was the other. The arrest of Walker follows the arrest of Balboa, 29, and her roommate / boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, 27-year-old Ben Rivera, who are charged with the same crime and remain in jail. Well, this is wrong because Benjamin is out of jail. He's in the comfort of his own home. Probably eating some welcome home food. What do you want, mijo? Bond on Balboa has been set at $600,000, and bond on Rivera has been set at $100,000. Officers closed the investigation and now believe that shortly after young Olson died, his body was first kept in a bed at Balboa's apartment, but later moved to a bathtub, where it stayed for at least 2 days before being moved to a storage building in Webster. It is believed that the remains of the child, who had by that time already been dead for almost 2 weeks, was then brought to Jasper, where it was discovered in a room at the Best Western Motel in the 200 block of West Gibson. An autopsy has revealed that the child died of blunt trauma to the head. However, who killed the boy and why still remains a mystery. They have questions. Investigators have said that Balboa was dating the child's father when the boy went missing. Listen, I don't understand. Can anybody help me understand what is going on right now? It's so heartbreaking. They could have definitely saved him. If he was alive, we don't know. Who were they? Are they doctors? Are they God? Are they the healing human body? They definitely took his life slowly and surely by tons and tons and tons of neglect and incorporate that all in with being evil, stupid pieces of wasted life. They deserved each other. And Dylan, I don't know why you helped, but you're an idiot too. Thank you for calling Crime Stoppers, because Teresa was on her way to Louisiana with the body. And from my understanding, somebody that has been investigating the case closely connected Benjamin to Louisiana. So I'm guessing that, Benjamin does not have a record. I don't know about Dylan. So I'm guessing that Benjamin was going to take her to wherever he was from, take her to the bayou, feed him to the crocodiles, like Teresa said. Teresa was the first one who said that. But I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, they're going to they're going to take him to the swamps. He called Crime Stoppers for money. Exactly, Teresa, you're right. I didn't even think of that because I tried to have just a little bit more of a hope and humanity. Just a little bit. I had high hopes for Dylan. I thought maybe he was just playing it off and he gave her up after he played nice, which is probably something you have to do with somebody as twisted as her. So I believed it. And I just made that assumption on my own, especially because they didn't arrest him right away. And at this time, we kind of thought that Benjamin was being arrested already. But Benjamin was never arrested. Dylan was never arrested. We didn't hear anything after that. And I, for a moment in time, thought that Dylan was not going to get arrested at all. He was never going to be talked to again. So this is actually kind of shocking to me. And the fact that his bail is higher than Benjamin's is, I actually think it's sad. I actually think it's sad. Delana says, didn't she call her ex, her children's father, and ask if she could come where he was at? Yes, she did. Yes, she did. And that's actually what I'm not going to play that part of the interview, but there's more to that interview that I found, and I will play it right now. And it's just to give you an idea of what kind of quote unquote woman Teresa Balboa is. Because clearly she has not shown us how great of a mother she is yet. And in this little interview by her ex, you will hear that she wasn't, that we aren't the only people who feel this way, that you could tell and that other people could tell that she was a bad mom. She was a bad mom. Just got to admit it. She just got to admit it. She was a bad mom. She wasn't motherly. She didn't have that in her. She wasn't ever going to take care of her own children adequately, and she really wasn't going to take care of her boyfriend's child adequately. That was a dumb decision. I don't know how he thought that was going to work out. But as somebody said, somebody had mentioned that he probably didn't know about her kids. Valerie had said it. And then I thought, no, he definitely knew about her kids because they were on Facebook. But it could definitely be a possibility that he had never met them, because I assumed that she hadn't seen them. So why would he have met them? So he doesn't, he couldn't have known what all went on there. So I'm going to play this video real quick. Oh, I guess I have to add it to stream. You guys are supposed to tell me. Yeah. Sorry, not sorry. I get it. I'm thinking it was possible that they have been waiting to get evidence to arrest these two guys. Oh, yeah, absolutely. To arrest these two guys and then gather evidence from them about the father, because it's now even longer the dad went without talking to Sam. And the last time that he said he talked to Sam was a complete lie, because Sam had been dead for like 14 days. From whatever my understanding of this timeline is, that's ridiculous. That's 2 weeks that he had been dead already. Hey, Diane, how are you? Diane, this is a very sensitive subject, so if there are any children in the room, or if you're not feeling up to par today, this is really sensitive. I think I read most of the gory stuff, but it was gory, at least to me. I think the only way it could get gorier in this case was if we find out there was dismemberment. And at this point, I'm not going to rule anything out, because these people had one thing in mind, and that was to get away with whatever they thought they were going to get away with. Whatever they did, they thought they were going to get away with it. Also, I'm very mad today. Not happy. And I just lost the video I was watching, or that I was pulling up. Not happy again. I knew that this I knew that this was going to be bad originally. But like I said, you don't really realize how bad it is until you start learning like more and more of the facts, and then you feel like it can't get any worse, and then it does. It gets super worse. It does not get any better. Okay, so I'm going to share the stream now. Some people need to be fixed. John. Some people need to be fixed. It is horrible. They are a whole new level of criminal. It's as if being at home too long with COVID, not having COVID, but being home too long because of COVID, along with everything else. I don't know if it was because of too much money or too little money, because I do know that there were issues with people who had never really had a job. So they were able to get assistance, and then they were acting like rats with cheese once they were getting paid unemployment. But I mean, that just happens. I don't know if anybody's that much of a movie buff like I am, but Scarface is one of my favorite movies. And in the movie, he's an absolute dick. And his wife tells him, maybe if somebody had given it to you, you'd be nicer. Same thing. All right. I'm going to make it big. Hey, Nisi, thank you for being here. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I have a little bit of an update this morning for the Samuel Olson case. Don't mind my... So my friends made fun of me because she's like, why are you using your sexy voice? Well, Crazy says it too. But most of the time when I record these videos, it's like 3 or 4 in the morning. I've been talking over and over again, recording my voice, so my voice is already scratchy. And then to record, I'm not going to yell into the mic like I'm yelling right now. And then tomorrow I'll wake up with a scratchy throat because of what I'm doing now. But yeah, I promise I'm just trying to make it sound monotone. But first, I wanted to show you something that I had missed in a final cut.
It's weird and it's confusing because, as the mother of my children, I've known that girl for a long time, and I know that she's had problems. I know that she's had a difficult life, but I would never have thought something of this magnitude would ever happen.
And I think your mother, off camera, told one of our reporters that, Teresa just wasn't a mom, didn't have mom in her, maternal instincts in her. What would you say about her, mothering to your daughters?
Teresa had her first kid at 16, I think.
Her son.
She never had a real mom. Like her mom is disturbed in her own right, and she never. I don't think Teresa's ever had
of these two. I don't think this
a role
is him.
model as a mother
Is that Benjamin?
to look up to. So she didn't know how to be a mom when she became a mom.
Benjamin Rivera has now been accused of tampering with the courts. He's expected to face a judge this afternoon.
So sad,
now, that
Dawn.
is the same exact charge that Teresa Balboa is currently facing. Now, he was taken into custody late last night around midnight. We have new information, new documents we'll show you here. According to police court documents, police had questioned him at arm's length in this case. Now, those documents say Rivera told police that Samuel Olson died sometime around May 10th. And according to new documents we obtained overnight, Rivera and Balboa coordinated to hide the body when they expected apartment maintenance to visit their unit. Now, a few days later, that was nearly 2 weeks before he was reported missing. The documents also talk about text messages between Rivera and Balboa discussing the plan to move the body from their apartment to a storage unit, and then eventually to a motel in Jasper where police found the remains along with both suspects on June 1st. Now, again, we have identified that man as Benjamin Rivera. He's now in custody, expected to face a judge this afternoon.
And that's what he deserves. What I'm about to read to you next is going to be very disturbing, so brace yourself. Police said during an interview with Rivera, he told them he received a call on May 10th from Balboa. In this text, Teresa tells him that Samuel has been injured and that he needs to come home, but to give her a call before he comes into the apartment. He said when he got home, he saw Samuel unconscious on the bed, bruised up, and that they put Samuel in the tub for 2 days. Benjamin then goes on to tell them that he is the one that went to Walmart to purchase the duct tape and the tote to secure Samuel in. And after an investigation, the court documents say that the cops have noticed that the timeline that they gave them was actually inaccurate. During the search of his phone, the investigators found that a text message from Balboa to Rivera on May 5th saying that she needs to speak to him before he came inside the apartment. On May 12th, court documents say Balboa sent a text to Rivera saying she was going to move Samuel's body to the bed after Benjamin had advised her that maintenance would be in the apartment servicing stuff that day. Surveillance video from the storage facility in Webster shows Rivera's truck arriving with Samuel's body in it on May 22nd. Evidence that has been recovered by police in the weeks following the 5-year-old being reported missing disproves the original report about what had happened to the child. Samuel's death has been ruled as death by blunt trauma to the head.
No, Phoebe.
And his grandmother, Tanya Olson, has stated that we are happy he has been charged. We don't know if he has been arrested yet, and we pray that the judge sets that bond high. Teresa's next court date is in July, and Benjamin's first court date is today, and I hope there's many more to come. At the end of the day, I just question who could have done this to this little boy, and what could he have done to them? I don't think he could have done anything, but I still want to know who did it. You already know.
We got questions. Okay, so somebody had just asked, and I actually like repeating this because it has to give you a point of view. I think everybody, at least if you're in the United States, you know what a single unit apartment looks like. Very basic, no more than 700 square feet if you're lucky. Usually, hopefully, not less than like 400 square feet. Very small. The bedroom in the apartment was attached to the bathroom. So the bathroom was essentially in the bedroom, and that's where the little boy was. Now, he was also there for 8 days after he was initially hurt. So there was another report earlier, the newspaper thing that said that he was in the bed. He was in the bed, he was in the tub, he was in the bed, he was in the tub. They were changing him around, whatever worked for them, but I'm thinking he was in the tub because out of sight, out of mind. Thank you, Delana. I'm like, thank you. You want to be a mod? Susie Carter, I don't know how many filters they put on that woman, but she looked nothing like that. You know what, Susie Carter? I think beauty is only in the eyes of the beholder. And I think when you look at her now, you see the ugliness. You can't help but see it. It's kind of like when people look at NK, Nicole Kessinger, when they look at her, they're like, she's so ugly. I don't think she's that ugly, but I get it. Their personality is so ugly, it just seeps right through their bodies, and it makes them an ugly person. And when looking at her, you could honestly tell that there are not enough filters for evil. And I think that's what it is, because she still looked, fresh-faced and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed to me. She just looked like she had been stressing out. And we had hoped that she was stressing out for the right reasons. But apparently this chick does nothing for the right reason. And she only does things for herself. And in essence, here we are all being fooled by Teresa. Let's see. The video that I made for this live just tricked me, and it was telling me that it was done, and then out of nowhere it was like processing all over again, 0%. Thanks, video. I was all excited. I was like, cool, just in time. But let me see if my TikTok one recorded. Of course not, it didn't. So sometimes TikToks will hold a item for review, and I have been shadow banned because I upload bad stuff and TikToks for kids, and I upload murder things and question stuff. And so sometimes they shadow ban me, and then sometimes they make my videos go under review. So here I am. Now I have to wait for my video to go under review, and I can't play it for you guys. But so I was going to mention that another thing I had learned today was that, this is really sad. I'm going to go ahead and read it so I don't get it wrong. I can't even listen to her interview. Me either, Delana. It's ridiculous. She is an evil woman. So I'm going to go ahead and read this. It says, if I could ever find it again. Don't you hate that? Like, really, where did you go? Don't do this to me. Here it is. So this was actually posted by the admin of the the admin of the Samuel Olson Facebook group. I must say that the Samuel Olson Facebook group the one that I am talking about right now, I believe it has like 2.3 thousand followers. Class act. That is a great group. I have not seen one issue go down, and there is a lot of emotions and a lot of people argue, but pretty much it's a great group. And it's all because there is so much passion for this little boy that I think we all just want to get along so we don't get kicked out, and we'll do it for Samuel. And it's been great so far. I really, really love this group. They update everybody. It's freaking amazing. So they're also in contact with Sarah, the mother, who has made a statement. And in her statement, she said that, she doesn't want to make a public statement until there's a murder charge. And I can understand that. I could really understand that. She was definitely smirking. Definitely smirking. She was trying hard not to smirk. Now we're gonna have to watch your interviews, guys. Now you're making me, because I haven't watched them in a minute. Not with us in that report. That was a slam dunk. Absolutely. Absolutely. Code. Okay, so it says, I want to address a frequently occurring question, and this is by the admin of the Samuel Olson Facebook group. Is Samuel still at the funeral home? Question mark. Now, when I read that, I thought to myself, I don't know if I want to know the answer to that, because in my head, I would have liked for him to have had a service already, and I had heard that there was a service from his father's family and that it was private, and I had assumed that they were just going to share him and each have their own service, each family side have their own service. But check this out. Is Samuel still at the funeral home? Yes. Samuel is still at the funeral home. He cannot be laid to rest because Dalton is refusing to sign the death certificate unless it is sent to his address so that Samuel's ashes will be delivered to him. Samuel cannot be laid to rest because Dalton is refusing to sign the death certificate unless it is addressed to his home so that Samuel's ashes will be delivered on home. Wasn't Sarah just on the news? If she was Dawn Keller, I missed it. Are you talking about the press conference? I'm saying I think she means she won't make a comment on Benjamin's status or Teresa's status, Benjamin's status until there's a murder charge. Maybe, I don't know. She had an interview? Find it. Did I miss it? I have the press conference. Okay, so I am going to check. You know what? I have decided that I no longer have questions, and we're going to get some answers. I need to find a way to organize my videos. I don't know how the heck I'm going to do it. I know playlists and stuff, but I don't know. Still a little. And when I think about it, I just get befuddled, and then I don't want to do nothing. All right, so where are we going from here? Okay. Oh, no. That's not it. I can't believe this was 3 weeks ago.
Not with us.
And before you guys say anything, yes, I like my own videos, okay? I like myself. Oh my gosh. Go up. What's wrong with you? Oh, I guess I didn't like this one. Sometimes I open it, it embarrasses me. I don't know why. I don't know why it embarrasses me. But I mean, we do it for numbers, right? We do it so it looks good. Also, I like to give myself props. I like to thank me for me. Alright, let's go ahead and start this over again and listen to them. And now that we know what we know, it might get some more insight, right? And also, I would like to remind everybody, when Dalton is giving his interview, Teresa's right here in the background, just like walking around the car, walking, just moving around. And when she's doing her interview, you can hear him wailing in the background. And a few people were saying, well, maybe that's when he was doing his interview, and it can't be because she's walking around back here.
If you say your name, spell it for me.
My name is Dalton Olson, Dalton Olson.
Dalton, this must be some rough times. Can you tell me what it's been like?
I feel like I'm living in a nightmare I can't wake up from. No parent should ever have to feel this. I can't eat, I can't sleep. I'm at a loss for words, man.
I understand. Have the police told you anything or given you any...
We're doing our best right now to get out there and search for him. We're trying to cooperate and give them everything. We've given them everything that we can. Any little information we think is important or even as insignificant as we think it is, we still hand it over. We're just trying to do everything we can to play our part to help bring my son home safe, because that's all that matters at the end of the day is please help me find my son.
What was your son's name?
His name is Samuel Olson. He just turned 6 years old on the 29th. He has a little bit of shaggy hair on top, shorter on the sides.
And you said you'd be passing out some flyers.
Yes, sir. We were all in the area. We've been in the Pasadena, LaPorte area passing out flyers. Right now, we're over here on the southwest side of Houston passing out flyers. We're going to go to the area where he was last seen, and we're going to pass out flyers. I mean, anywhere we can just hand out anything for somebody if they've seen something. I mean, any little bit of information will help.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Continue to search until we find him. What do you think? Where do you think he could be? Somewhere with... not with us. And that's the important thing, is that he is not with us and we need to bring him back to us. So I can't say where he could be, where he might be, like, because honestly, we don't know. At this point, we don't know. All we can do is keep searching and doing, everything we've been doing. And we're going to continue to do it. You think he's definitely alive?
Oh, yeah. We just keep picturing him sitting, watching cartoons, waiting for us. Just sitting there waiting for us. And we're going to get him. We're going to find him.
Tell me about your relationship. Did he call you
I hate her
mom?
too.
Did he, or
That's standard.
Mommy. That was his choice. It wasn't forced. We didn't force him because it wasn't forced. We didn't force him because I don't want to just sitting there waiting for us. And we're going to get him. We're going to find him.
Tell me about your relationship. Did he call you mom? Did he, or at least...
Super mommy. That was his choice.
That was his choice.
It wasn't forced. We didn't force him because I don't want to force that. But he used to call me Super Mommy or Teresa. It was still uncomfortable for him.
It was still uncomfortable for him, but he chose to call her mommy.
He's little. He's a kid, and he knows who his mom is. But he also knows that how much I care about him and everything that I've been doing for him and have done for him.
So much.
We're gonna find him. I know we're gonna find him.
They found him. She is the ultimate mommy dearest. Brennan Tube. Hey, girl. Yes, we saw that, Dawn. Prayers for Tim Miller. I actually immediately sat down. Not sat down. I was probably already sitting. I immediately said a prayer for Tim Miller because when I saw the the post, it looked bad. And I'm not saying this wasn't bad, but when I saw it, I just thought the worst. And he had just said that he was going to be starting on Summer's case. So I had just announced that in a video and I was all excited. And I still am excited, but I'm sad now. Yeah, super, super dumbass. Just both of them. When I made this video, it was before they found Samuel. The very end was literally put on at the end because they found Samuel. because I was covering it before, like a few hours before, maybe less than a day before, maybe a whole day. But that was the weirdest trip ever, to have to go in and edit my own videos to add in that he was found, knowing very well that it looked sketch from the beginning. No matter what, it looked sketch. That's why I started following this, because it looked bad. Teresa's interview was really bad. Okay, so it uploaded, guys. See, somebody was rooting for me up there. It finally uploaded. So I'm going to close my screen out so I can open up a new one, so I can open it because I'm excited. But yeah, guys, that was crazy. Having to watch the press conference, like record it, upload it, and then just do a whole bunch of interviews, because there was already so much coverage on him being missing. There was a lot of coverage on him being missing. And I was able to pop out like, I think 10 or 15 videos within the first day. And I felt like I'm overdoing it, but it was literally every single video is new information, new stuff. I suggest you go down and watch the vlogs. I have them numbered 1, 2, and 3. Those were amazing. The vlogs that I essentially sleuthed from the real reporters, and then they uploaded their own personal like reports. Those were really, really good. Those gave a lot of insight, and I actually have to go back and listen just to make sure that I didn't miss anything before knowing stuff. So I'm going to hold on. Let me choose this video real fast. How are you guys? How is everybody? Anybody need snacks? Oh, nice. Tiffany Marie is actually live right now doing Summer Wells. I will drop her link in chat right now. I love me some Tiffany Marie. She's been doing amazing. I don't care if my live drops to 5, as long as you guys still want to hang out with me. That's cool. Whoever wants to hang out with me is cool. But Tiffany has been killing it, and Summer really does need to be found. And all the attention that she's bringing to it, it's helping. There's like at least 700 people watching her lives at all times. And may I mention that she does this all from the goodness of her heart, because her channel isn't even monetized. And she has like 5,000 subs. So she's been able to have been monetized a long time ago. She deserves it too. She spends countless hours. So I will drop her link in chat once I get this video playing. But if you have not ever checked out Tiffany Marie, she is amazing.
Just the last hour, Maya.
Nothing too new with Summer Brennan Tube, other than, I guess, with new days come more inconsistencies or more fear of the unknown. But I don't think there has been any updates today. There was a presser, but I didn't think it. I don't think they added anything in that was new. Obviously, it's just to keep us updated, so it doesn't go unheard. So yes, I don't think Tiffany sleeps. You know what, Phoebe Beach? I don't think many of us sleep, and I think it was an issue we already had, so that's kind of why we just go on and keep doing it, because, you know. Oh, Delaney. I don't know. But we will find out. Crazy Crime Chick and I are doing a live tomorrow on Summer Wells. So, Crazy's doing it, and then she asked me to jump on. We were going to do it today, but we didn't. But that will be a good one. And I'm pretty sure at that time, Crazy Crime Chick may have an answer for you. My voice is cracked. All right, here we go.
Just the last hour, Maya.
Yeah, within the last half hour, Ben Rivera appeared in what we call probable cause court. That is.
Why didn't you guys tell me I wasn't connected to StreamYard? Over here watching it by myself. It's not a movie if you guys aren't there. All right, sorry about that. Thanks, Monica. All right, take 2. And I will be uploading this video later, but I will be deleting things off of it and polishing it up. All right.
Just the last hour, Maya.
Yeah, within the last half hour, Ben Rivera appeared in what we call probable cause court. That is his initial appearance done on video. We have some of that to show you. And basically, the judge went through the charges, which in this case, he is charged with tampering with evidence, a human corpse. And they set his bond at $100,000. We should note that Rivera did hire an attorney. That attorney told me today he will not have any comment on this case. But for people who live near Rivera, and of course Teresa Balboa, his roommate and the girlfriend of the little boy's father, this is a lot to take in. At the apartment complex where suspects Teresa Balboa and Ben Rivera shared Unit 1810, neighbors are still in disbelief about the death of little Samuel Olson. And now, with both Balboa and Rivera charged with tampering with a human corpse, they are upset.
Just really disturbed people. I mean, that's just absolutely terrible. I mean, if you're having issues with a child, call out to a family member or something. I mean, that's just, it's really hard to swallow.
Neighbor Sarah Patton remembers seeing searchers in her neighborhood looking for the little boy. But now, knowing Olson is dead and that the last two people with him are facing charges, there is still so much we don't know. Family law expert Dennis Slate says one thing is clear.
This is a child who was clearly abused, and the system didn't catch it, didn't stop the abuse, and ultimately stop Miss Balboa or whoever from causing his death.
Slate says he feels for Olson's mother and other relatives who are frustrated that murder charges have not yet been filed. However, he points out the little boy was missing for 27 days. Piecing together what happened during that time takes time, and charges can be upgraded.
Once they know the manner means, yes, that's a very normal thing for charges to follow. Once the medical examiner lets them know exactly what they think the way the child died or the manner of how the child died.
We should note that little Olson's mother released a statement through her attorney that simply said she's glad that justice is beginning to be served, but she did not want to comment on camera until someone has been charged with murder, and that has not yet occurred.
Suspect in the death of 5-year-old Samuel Olson is said to be cooperating with police now. Ben Rivera was back in court this morning. He's facing a charge of tampering with evidence. Police say he helped Teresa Balboa hide the body of her boyfriend's son, Samuel. The child's remains were found with Balboa in a Jasper motel room earlier this month, according to prosecutors.
He has cooperated with our homicide investigator and has been helpful from that perspective. And so we are looking at his statement and trying to verify it with different evidence that we have in order to see, in order to make sure that his statement can be trustworthy.
Also, a bombshell from prosecutors this morning. They told us they believe they have located a murder weapon, but they have to do more tests to confirm that is the case.
Oh, I did pause it in time. I had already read you guys this one, but here it is again so you guys can see it. Prosecutors have told us they've located what is believed to be the murder weapon that killed Samuel Olson. They're hoping to release those details. And as you heard, they're basically saying, he has turned, state's witness evidence or whatever, and turned state witness and turned in evidence. And I think this is what's getting Benjamin off the hook, because he gave them the murder weapon. Where could it have been? Do you think it was at her mom's house? All right, and then this is the admin, saying what I had read you guys a little bit ago. I don't know why the line's staying through it, but, I want to address the frequently recurring question. It's just freaking crazy. And then the next one. It's funny when I'm doing my videos, I'm always worried that these things won't be on long enough for reading. And then when I'm reading them on my side, I freak out that they're too long. I have a question. What do you think the murder weapon was? Honestly, it had to have been something to use to bludgeon, right? maybe like a flashlight. Like it can't be her fists. They can't have her fists in custody. Uh, I'm guessing something to the effect of something in the home, which a pot, maybe like a cast iron pot, maybe something that was in the bedroom. Maybe it could have been that she launched him onto something and he hurt himself onto something. Um, I think that the way that they're describing, I haven't looked up the differences, but the way they're describing his trauma, they're calling it blunt trauma to the head, or blunt trauma, or blunt trauma to the head, but not blunt force trauma to the head. And they keep not saying that, and it throws me off a little bit. So I'm wondering if there's a difference, like if maybe instead of blunt force trauma, because there was no force, like there was no inertia behind the item hitting him. That's why they're not saying the force part before the blunt. I mean, after the blunt force. That's what I'm guessing. You gotta go. Bye, Dawn. Have a good night. Message me. I think we were talking about something. Diane Marie, a normal household item. She got mad and grabbed whatever he was nearby. Yeah, definitely. Could have been the headboard, right? That's what I'm thinking is the reason why they're leaving that word out, because it probably, I'm guessing, if maybe something like a piece of furniture or something. Kimberly Gask, your bet is as good as mine. I'm guessing because she's a ninny and she can't control her emotions, and the little boy was in her way, clearly. Okay, so these are Benjamin's charges, and of course, his bond was made, even though he was tampering with a human corpse and living with a little boy's body. Hey, Wendy Lynn, how are you? Hey, Hurricane Hunter. Violent blunt trauma. But, like, do you notice how it doesn't say force? Am I the only one? The murder weapon was found near BR's apartment. Oh, okay. So that was where they were searching, where they had the grid search going. That's initially where, when I started following the case, they were right there in the vicinity of his apartment complex. And that was kind of what was interesting to me, too. One of the reasons I jumped on really fast when I saw it. I had seen that Samuel had been missing for a few days, but I hadn't watched the interviews yet. But when we saw those, they were making sure to let us know that they were searching her friend's apartment, even though he had been missing from her mom's house. She had reported him missing from her mom's house. So I thought that was odd. And sleuthers thought that was odd. And we were wondering, why the hell are they at her friend's house and not at her house? Well, they didn't tell us her friend was her ex-boyfriend, ex and current boyfriend. Phoebe Beach says she must have known he was badly injured, but wouldn't wake up or heal himself. Yes. Wonder if he went into a coma. Phoebe Beach, probably, most definitely. There has been so many cases, so many child abuse cases that I've heard of, that somebody hits the child, does something to a child, and hurts them, and the child essentially just, their organs start shutting down and they can't function anymore. But the parents are so selfish that they don't want to get in trouble. God forbid they have to God forbid they have to suffer at all. And then they do that. They then hide the body like a shamed teenager after doing something stupid. Like I bet they spilled milk and dropped a napkin on it and walked away when they were kids. Like, I bet those kind of people. CME92. Wouldn't be shocked if it was a toy or something that belonged to Sam. That would be freaking awful. Monica says, please don't stop. Thank you, Monica. Please don't forget to show some love to our Amanda and smash that up. Dankeschön. I hope I got that right. Dankeschön. I just said it in Spanish. Maybe she threw him against something. Diane Marie, I'm going to go ahead and make that my first guess because of the way it's worded. And Phoebe says, but how would she know he wouldn't wake up but would die? I wonder if she finished him off. After days, I mean. Exactly. That is definitely bit schon. After days, I mean. Yeah. Hey, Alicia, how are you? Okay, so this was essentially just for Dylan Ray Walker, so I could read it. Dylan Ray Walker came following an indictment, or he was arrested, came following the indictment, which was handed down on Thursday morning by a Jasper County grand jury after hearing evidence in the case submitted by District Attorney and Pickle Intercept. I read this earlier, but I wanted to say this out loud while telling you guys, like, I wonder if him and Benjamin Rivera, like, cross paths, because they were in court together today. Oh, wait, no, he was in Jasper County. Just kidding. Dang. That would have been so good. Hey. Love My Littles. It confirmed my worst fears about what had happened. It made me cry, and then it instantly made me so angry. And then I woke up, and this guy was out of jail. That shit was for the birds. Oh, Dankeschön means thank you, and Bitschon means you're welcome. Oh. Well, Dankeschön. Dankeschön. Hey, Ara R, how are you? Okay, so the neighbor did hear him crying for help. So that was a report made by Teresa Balboa's previous neighbor from another apartment complex. But either way, she said it was in about December that she could hear Samuel, what sounded like pleading for help. And that's freaking disgusting. But it happened, or so they say. And the fact that it's even written out there or said out there, I have it recorded on a video. It's really sad that he was suffering for this long under her care, and I wonder if Dalton knew ahead of time. I really do wonder, but I don't think he did. Dalton has some nerve not to sign to have his body released. He should be in jail for lying to law enforcement about speaking to Sam to start with. You know what, Nisi? It hasn't settled in with me. But when I was reading it to you guys a little bit earlier, it poked. It's I think it was Andrea said it. Andrea she said he was still thinking about himself. I think it was Don or Andrew who said that either way, he was still thinking about himself in that moment. He wasn't even thinking about his son. Again, not putting his son in his even at the beginning of his mind at all. Like he's a bad dad. And I've been saying that since the beginning. I thought he was just a dum-dum, but I think he was irresponsible to the fullest. And now look what happened. And he will suffer for that already. I don't know. Justice will happen. I don't know. So this is actually a picture of Ben and Teresa. Pretty sure. And then this was mocked up by a girl on Facebook today, and I was like, "Girl, this is so funny. I need to make this a thumbnail." And she said I could. You can't really see it, but up there it says she met him online, and then it says he said he lived in a gated community. And then down under where you can't see where it's cut off, it says, "And who's next?" And this was before Dylan was arrested. I don't know who she wanted arrested, but she's got a picture of Dalton right up in here. And so here's Benjamin and Teresa again with a child in between them. So we don't know if it's his child, her child, or combined. But I don't think it's combined because her two children are with her ex's parents, and then her one son from the very beginning, like her first child, has never been in her custody. I'd bop that neighbor if I did. I'd bop that neighbor if that was her and didn't report it to somebody. You know what? I bet that neighbor thought they were doing them a service by not being nosy. I really do think so. Hurricane Hunter, no, that's Dylan Walker down there. Oop. Is it? Right here, this is Dylan Walker. Hurricane Hunter? Ay. Which one is him? Because I don't have a picture of him yet. I think I had a picture of him in the beginning. Oh, that. Well, you could have told me that. I have a picture of him in my phone, but it's way down in my screenshots from the very beginning, so I didn't even think about pulling it up, to be completely honest with you. But thank you. So yes, Hurricane Hunter made this meme on Facebook, and it had me cracking up because she had a song playing and like little jail cells were closing. It was brilliant. I thought it was brilliant, and I had to make it into a thumbnail, and then I added it into this thing because I liked it. But you were saying that it is you're saying that, so this one on the bottom is him, and is that only, and then and then this would definitely be Teresa. I was gonna say, I was like, that doesn't look like Teresa, but it's kind of blurry. I'm just gonna go ahead and guess that if it's there next to his pictures. I'm so glad you're here then. Sorry guys, I wasn't gonna give you misinformation. I knew she was here the whole time. I did. Okay, so yes, it was awesome. I made it into the thumbnail as well. It's really good. Agreed, Monica. It is a different than a couple fighting. This is a child. Oh, most certainly, Valerie. For sure. Junie, I'm sad I'm thinking about a weapon, but you just thought of a candle jar, like the big thick ones from Yankee Candles and stuff. Absolutely. Sulfur Music 79 says, I'm halfway through listening to you on 2X. Just wanted to let you know I appreciate your hard work for Samuel and the other babies. Mad respect for all. Thank you, Sulfur Music 79. And I appreciate all of your support, really. And everybody, I mean, obviously, when you leave a comment and you leave a positive comment, you know you're leaving a positive comment. But it is such a good feeling to know that I'm going to scroll through 99% positive comments all the time. All the time. I'm like, that's dope. Like, I know for a fact that I'm going to have 70 friends on there just, letting me know what they think, letting me know their questions, letting me know, what their feeling is going to be found. And all of the comments, most of them are positive. And some of them that aren't positive are like, because I do my filters and stuff, they're like, I don't like the filters. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm still learning how to edit. But I really thank all of you guys, every single one of you, for being so nice and being so kind, because I'm still learning here and I get confused and I stop reading chat. Sometimes I play videos twice like I did the other day. I'm sorry if you were in that live. So Valerie Knox says, oh, I read that one. It was about the kids fighting, or that two adults fighting is different. Yes, absolutely. I had to call for a welfare check for my neighbor. Apparently mom wasn't home and the teenager was hitting the 4-year-old. The screams were blood curdling. Houses are closed in California. Yes, they're 12 feet apart. Diane Marie, that's so scary. That is crazy. Did you end up knowing any more? What's your email? I have Dylan Walker's new mugshot pic. It is my handle, amandasvida@gmail.com. Thank you so much. I love that you talk to all of us. Thank you. Why wouldn't I talk to you guys? What else would I be doing up here? Yeah, I know. Sometimes I know that I'm okay. I'm okay with you guys. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Monica. And I love you. So awesome. From California. Okay, so that I think was about it, but I will wait for this updated picture of Dylan because we absolutely need to see that. And I'm going to also pull up the original post that I got the meme off of, because I want to thank her and say her name, because I feel really bad now because I had saved it so I could pull it up. And so when I pull it up, I could say her name, and then she was in chat when it happened. That's pretty funny. So Martha, thank you, Martha. Hi, Delaney. Love my littles. I mean, what else would I do? What would I be doing? Like, I'm not talking? That's dumb. I do this mostly because I can't stop talking and I need somebody else to bounce off of me. One of the hardest things about going live by myself on my channel was that I expected to hear people talking back to me because I normally did panels. So to sit here and talk to myself, for a minute was a little bit weird. Now I'm getting used to it, and I actually I hear your voices in my head. I feel you guys now because I'm reading chat more and stuff. I'm getting better. Oh, I love to talk. Look, Dylan is probably the least guilty, but like Teresa said, he probably like called Crime Stoppers for money. But he did stop her from taking the baby to Louisiana, and then we would have never ever known what happened to him. But I mean, what benefit do we get in finding him that early if his dad won't even get him released? I can't believe, as a parent, I'm going to say this right now. It's going to be really sad. Or in my head, it's sad. As a mom, if my daughter was in a morgue, you wouldn't find me any further than the morgue doors. So she wouldn't be alone. And I say my daughter because when I think of these children that are 4 and 5, I automatically think of my oldest. Because she's a little she's 6 and she's tiny and she's so petite and she's so sweet. And that's how I imagine that he was. And then I think like his dad already hadn't taken care of him, obviously left him to die, literally. And then even in his death, can't get over himself enough to release his son so they could at least put him to rest. So he doesn't have to be in a cold freezer any longer or alone any longer. God damn it. That's so messed up. It is so messed up. Like, have some compassion. Have some feelings for your son. Obviously, you could go weeks without seeing him. We already know that. But now you can go months without seeing him, months with knowing that he's not being cared for. Because right now he's not being cared for. He's in a drawer, in a wall, not being cared for, being passed by every day. No warmth, no love. It's just sad. He's just so gross to even think about that. I hate that when I think about it, it makes me sad because it makes me then mad at him for having put Samuel into this position, and then in return having put his mom and everybody else who has been affected by the story into position. Because had this all happened like how it's been happening normally, where they find the child and then they figure out everything else, it may have been a little bit different for me. But because I thought Samuel was missing for a moment in time, and then he wasn't, and I know now that his dad didn't even really look for him when he was alive, it hurts my heart. Literally, I feel a pain in my heart. Don't ever let anybody tell you that your heart doesn't have feelings, because when I feel pain, I feel it in my heart. Yeah, love my little sis Dalton. Stop. Yeah, I don't think he's watching this, and I hope he's not. Can't get anything good out of me sitting here telling him what he should and shouldn't have done. But I'm going to say it anyway because it's going to make me feel better. Is the mom trying to get Samuel? Oh, Brennan Tube. Yes, she is. She's mad. She's mad. It's gross. And she also says that she won't make a statement until there's a murder charge, another public statement. It's so hard for me right now just to email myself. I am discombobulated to the fullest. I really, when I hear this stuff, sometimes it takes me longer to absorb it. So I will hear it all day long, make it into a video, comment on it, do commentary. And then when I come and sit down with other people and reflect on it, then I really start to feel it. Like, I think I have mentioned this already, but if I haven't, I'm going to repeat myself. I started doing the JonBenet Ramsey stuff, and I put up my first video, which would be the ransom note and the 911 call. And then in the meantime, while they're playing, it's a video of the home. So it's JonBenet Ramsey's bedroom, and then it leads out into the kitchen area where you see the bowl of pineapple, and that's kind of where it ends. I have a lot more that I'm going to add into my next videos, but what I'm trying to say is part of the JonBenet Ramsey case to me is her autopsy, or at least the crime scene photos and then what would be her autopsy photos, because you can see her injuries and you kind of have to imagine what went on, or if it was done if it was done by somebody in the home, whatever. The other day I was going over the crime scene photos, and I had found something, so I was looking closer, and my husband walked into the room, and my body went cold, and I got scared that he was going to see it on my phone, right? And then after that happened, after he didn't see it, he walked away. I didn't have a panic attack, but I had a bout of anxiety over it. Not because I almost got caught watching anything like that, but because I was watching something like that just so open, just so out in the open. This case, at least JonBenet Ramsey's cold case, she's become somewhat of an enigma to me. She's just an object that I've studied over time. I used to keep the bathroom with not the bathroom. I used to keep a book with the ransom note in my bathroom for at least a decade. I've read that note almost 1,000 times, if not over. So to me, she was just somebody that I had studied, and I never really grew a true attachment to her, aside from the fact that I grew up with her, at least in every grocery store at the end of the grocery run. But I had never actually felt an emotion for the fact that she was a 6-year-old little girl that had died. And the other day after that happened was the very first time that when I look back at those pictures, I had to put it away. And I think, I'm not going to say that's the first time I've been grossed out or shooketh at a crime scene photo or anything, because there are times where I'm just like, oh, that's gory, or oh, that's just sad and cold. But that was the first time that I looked at it, and it made me see her as a real person. But not just that, it made me realize everything that happened to her that night, and then just having to put it into this little body that is the age of my daughter's body is overwhelming. All of those bad things that happened to her just in one night at all, it's just too much for me. It was overwhelming. So I got the picture of Dylan up. I will quit rambling now and add it in, because you guys are probably like, just show the picture so we can go. All right, so put the picture up. And here he is. This guy. So this guy, this guy, I don't even know how to feel about him, Dylan Walker. I really don't know how to feel about you, other than the fact that you're, what were the kids call him? A simp? Somebody that is simping for attention, or somebody that was, thank you, Hurricane Hunter. And while, I don't know if you were listening, but while you were gone, I said your name to him. Thank you. Appreciate you so much. That was actually, I really like that meme. But thank you, Martha. So, wait, I hadn't heard about that. So Dalton won't sign to have him transported to a funeral home. No, he's in the funeral home. I guess it's the funeral home morgue, because they did say funeral home, but obviously he's in a cold case, so it would have a morgue attached to it. Dalton needs to have some compassion and do the right thing and sign. Absolutely. I know I was saying something I completely forgot. What was I saying, guys? So I had anxiety attack. I forgot. The worst for me that made me sick and hurt me deeply is the little man Adrian, whose dad and stepmom fed him to the pigs, and his torture was photographed on closed caption, on TV, or it was recorded. There's a lot of really bad ones, and that one, that just reading it makes you queasy. I can't watch anything about the 11-year-old boy whose mom didn't report him missing, Xavier. My little one turned 11 today, and he's the sweetest baby. Brennan Tube, stop! Stop. So yes, Dylan Walker, I don't know how to feel about you. I think you're an idiot. But you're an idiot with somewhat of a conscience, so thank you for that. And I can't believe that his bail is actually less than Benjamin's bail, who slept in the apartment with the little boy. He was at the apartment. How could you even go back there? Teresa had some thirsty slobs that would do anything for her. Absolutely. I can't even with her. I really can't. But this was basically the finale of this live. I really appreciate you guys all for being here. This was amazing. I really feel like I got it all off my chest. All day long, I was stressed out over the fact that I wanted to get it out and I couldn't get it out fast enough, but not fast enough like I wanted to be the first this time or anything. It was just fast enough to where I know that it makes me feel better that there is justice for Samuel and that it's ongoing, regardless of these flubs. He's still, we still have somewhat of a claw in him. So I'm still excited for justice for Samuel because that's all we can really get right now. Teresa somehow contributed to this boy's death. Benjamin somehow helped her ass, and Dylan somehow became the worst Uber driver ever. But I'm really happy that he did call Crime Stoppers. I hope he doesn't get any money, and I hope that's why this all went down. But this guy and these people, Texas is very special right now. Very, very special. And it makes you wonder, like, was it always like this, or are we just paying attention now? Has it gotten worse with COVID? I have questions. Don Michelle, thank you. Thank you for your updates. Next time I talk about Samuel, I'm going to play the Tim Miller, the Nancy Grace one. So Dylan went to jail on this case today. Today he went to jail. And his bail was $125,000, $25,000 more than Benjamin's bail, who was arrested yesterday and released today. Thank you, Junie. Love my littles. Monica, thank you. Oh, what did you say? Oh my God, that is horrible. Love my littles. One of my sons' name is Adrian. Yeah. Seriously. Okay. Thank you guys so much. Tell him to be careful. Please. Yes, of course. And now you open any app and it's there too. So they all combine to kind of like my personal Facebook and my personal Instagram. I feel as if I've gone through one in the week, I feel like it's caught up on everybody's life because my friends are all mutual friends and I have them on both platforms. So if I do Instagram and Facebook on the same day, I'm essentially repeating all the same posts because they post them to both platforms. So I already don't really do Instagram or my personal Facebook anymore. I do YouTube, Facebook to keep up, but yeah. What's that weird? What? That's weird. What's weird? Tell me more. Dylan posted bail too, and he's out of jail? What? Are you serious? I'm speechless. They can't even spend a night in a box. I bet they get claustrophobic thinking about it. Ooh, that makes me so mad. Ooh, thank you. Thank you, Martha. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate everybody that gives me updates, but when you do stuff like that, or when my friends and my followers and oh my God! What the hell? He couldn't even spend the night in jail. What a freaking coward. What a freaking coward. Just a piece of shit. I just didn't think he would go to jail since he called and turned her in. I didn't think so either, but the fact that he's gone to jail makes me suspicious of what they found and why they, I don't think that they would just arrest somebody for being a kind friend. So I'm guessing that there's something, and then they got him with tampering as well. So what did he do to the box? You know what I mean? Or like, I don't know. Or was just moving Samuel from place to place, tampering with a human corpse? But what did he do? I can't think of a charge, but Dalton needs to have a mugshot as well, says CM90. Well, I heard recently, I think it was Dawn who told me that they can't do child abandonment charges until 6 months. They have to prove that they had abandoned them for 6 months. So he had 5 months to go. Dalton, he would have had 5 months to go. That's freaking stupid. These laws are giving people the outs. Not only are they giving people the outs, they're giving people like these guys and like Teresa opportunities to do things and kind of get away with it. If there better be a murder charge somewhere, who's gonna get the murder charge? Because if there's no murder charge, that's just not gonna make any sense to me. I don't know. Let's see. Soul for Music 79 says anyone who went near that baby boy's dead body is guilty AF. Period. Dot. Exclamation point. Circle. Yes. Another YouTube reporters the Rivera's parents or family is big in the community and maybe he will get off. Don't say that. Do not say that to me right now. His bail was $125,000, Monica. So, $1,250. I mean, not 1,200. 12,500. And you are welcome, Valerie. That made me so mad. My face got red. So Vernon Tube says, but he also left his son with someone who had a restraining order against. So there should be some sort of penalty. Yeah. I mean, I'm mad at him right now. Yeah. I had been trying to be nice because of what's going on, but what he's doing with his body is sick. And I've seen it done in cases like this, and they're really just trying to get the last piece of control. But his last piece of control was when he took this little boy away from his mom and didn't let her take him back. So when he took Samuel and never gave him back, Sarah then went to Samuel's birthday party, and Samuel told her, I knew you'd come back for me. And at some point during the party, she slipped out the back door with him. And when Dalton tried to stop her is when she hit him with the car. And despite the fact that all this... Hey, Caroline D, what's going on? Despite the fact that she tried to hit him with the car, I think she was in the right. Especially now. What do you think? Her charges were dropped. I think it was 3 days after Samuel was found. And they did one of the court days. They dropped all of her charges. It was a little bit too late, but it was sweet. It was nice that they did that. That they dropped those charges because she did not deserve those charges. She was trying to get her son back, clearly for a reason. She felt he was in danger enough for her to do an illegal act to get him back. Not egging on her illegal act, but I would have her do it again. I wish I could tell her, put the pedal to the metal, sis. Go. Run. You take that baby. You run. I wish somebody would have helped her out. Because she tried to do it the bad way, and then she tried to do it the good way, and either way took too long. This poor woman. That's so sad. Not just that. One of the things that really got to me was that when the police officers went to her home to check to see where she was when Samuel was missing, she didn't even know. She didn't even know her son was missing. She had no idea. She didn't know her son was missing. She didn't know her son was with Teresa. She didn't know that Teresa had she didn't know that Dalton had a restraining order against Teresa. She was none the wiser. Yeah. Disgusting. But I guess I'll end it with that. You guys are awesome. I think this is officially my longest live, and it went by so fast. This was great. And it's obviously sucky circumstances that we're all in here talking about this, but it's obviously a topic that we're all interested in because, I mean, we want to see it through. We want to make sure that in 20 years when someone says, oh, Teresa Balboa is up for federal parole, you're like, oh, hell no. I know that Luna Fry because I know exactly what they got on her. I love feeling that way. And I can't believe I'm old enough to have said, like, I watched this full-blown case 20 years later and I still remember. But, you know, I'm there. I definitely followed cases long enough to where now I'm, like, at their parole hearings and not at their parole hearings, but virtually at their parole hearings and stuff, and wanting to find out to make sure that they stay where they belong. We can't do anything else except throw them under the jail. Just throw them under. One other case that I want to at some point look into, talk about, play videos for is Haley Briskels. What's going on? Is Ross Harris, the hot car death, the Ross Harris trial. That one really interests me, and I personally, I think everybody's guilty, but that's one case where I feel, because I had thought about this the other day. I had said I didn't know a case like Watts where someone was arrested, and I had lingering thoughts about who else I wanted arrested, and I wanted them arrested for a long time. And I think Ross Harris, I think his wife was a part of what went on. I don't know. There's something weird about her telling him in the interrogation room, it's okay, we'll have more babies. Bitch, your baby just died. I'm sorry. Just over shitty parents today. It's really over them. Hey, Georgie RG, I'm sorry you came in as I'm cursing and about to leave. Thanks, John. I appreciate it. But yeah, that's about it. But thank you guys all so much. We will always cover cases, cold cases, open cases. But Ross Harris case is back in courts, so I would like to cover that one. I'm doing John Benet Ramsey, and I am going to start popping out Casey Anthony videos because I'm really just trying to free up the space on my phone that I have. I have all the space taken up on my phone. So Kaylee Anthony's case will forever be one of my number ones. It is a cold case, let's not forget. Just because we think we know who killed her, it was never proven. It is technically a cold case, and we will talk about it. So, thank you, everybody. Legit love your channel, Amanda. I've got only a few that I cover right now, follow right now, and it's the ones who stick to true crime. There's not many who do, but you're up at the top of those who I watch for the truth. Thank you so much. And true crime's just me. That's just what I do. I can obviously do other things. I could talk drama, but there's a time and a place for that. True crime is like what I listen to when I clean. I don't listen to music. Or what I do when I'm working. I don't listen to music. I'm so happy that the last 6 months that I've been on YouTube, I've given podcasts a break, because I promise you guys, in the true crime podcast realm, I was almost done with them. There wasn't many that I hadn't watched, or that were fully interesting to me that I hadn't listened to. I said watch because when I hear it, I can see it, but whatever. But I'm so happy that I have about 6 months of podcast to catch up on. Feels good. But again, I will say bye again. This is like the third time. Yeah, we'll leave the drama to the people who are good at it. Obviously, there's people who are amazing at it. So, for sure. Absolutely. And that's all I ask, is that if I asked to keep it true crime, we keep it true crime. If we want to do something else, let's do that. But predominantly here, I don't want to intermingle disrespectful thoughts with these children. I'm already giving enough bad vibes out there when I'm saying all these things about how I feel about these parents and judging them. I don't need any more. Like, we don't need any more negative vibes about this. Like, let's remember them in peace. So, all right. Once again, for the fourth time, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.